All right, let's go. We are live. Gonna give it a minute, give a little time for some people to get in here. Whew, not gonna lie, it's a little cold in this house. Little cold, gonna put the hood up. We're just chilling. Gonna lean this back a little. Just trying to vibe today, you know what I mean? It's been a long week. I'm tired. Just ready for the game tomorrow. Ready to see if we can find a different result going into Jacksonville, you know what I mean? It's really the goal of the week, the key of the week here. Just trying to get to Jacksonville, win a game. And there's a lot going on in terms of Colts. There's a lot going on. James, appreciate you stopping by. That's exactly what I was about to say is with a lot going on. I mean, Richardson not playing, which is kind of what I was wondering. Like, it started to sound like he could play, but even in the game plan video and the pregame preview video that we did, I think I'm pretty sure in both of those I said that I kind of would expect AR to not play. Maybe it was just a pregame preview, whatever the case. AR end up holding him out. You have a guy like Joe Flacco, so now you're in a spot where you can go ahead and play him, let your young guy go ahead, rest a game, right? A game we don't usually win this game, so not to say that it's just a throwaway game. Of course, getting to 3-2 is a bigger deal, like a huge deal compared to being 2-3, right? So we got to win this game, but just looking overall and looking at the entire season, let AR, work on it throughout the week. Limited participant all week in practice. He's going to miss the game, but continue to rehab, right? And then come back next week. I believe we play the Titans next week, and I believe that one's going to be on the road, I think. Don't hold me to that. I think we play the Titans on the road first. But AR not going to be in there with the oblique injury. And those are always tricky, right? Those core injuries are always tricky. So somebody, with Anthony Richardson and him being a runner and somebody that we want to use like that, it's just good to have him be out. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not totally okay with that. Like Richardson being out, I want Richardson to play to get the reps and continue to work on the things that he needs to work on, the things that he's going to need. You need to see the defense in real time and play NFL football to get better at NFL football. So with what we've seen from him, like the potential's there, I'd like to see Richardson play. Don't get it twisted. But in a game where, again, we haven't won in Jacksonville in almost a decade. So I kind of feel better with Flacco. He's a veteran guy, came in last week. Took a little while for the offense to get going with Flacco, but then they got going, right? They were able to put a touchdown on the board. They were able to get another field goal out of it. So overall, the offense clearly doesn't move the same way with Flacco as it does with Richardson. Now, the positives with Flacco, drives when we are able to get something going on offense, sustained drives. Right? Defense is going to be able to be on the sideline. They're going to be able to adjust. They're going to be able to get a breather. That matters for guys like Grover Stewart, right? Somebody that we need to have on the field as much as possible with all the injuries that we have. We need Grover Stewart to be on the field for us. So those kinds of things will help, right? Zaire Franklin, EJ Speed. You want these guys to be fresh in the fourth quarter. With Joe Flacco, like with Anthony Richardson, even when we're putting up points, we score so fast. Right, a lot of the time when the offense is successful, we're tempo. It's more up tempo stuff, and generally, like the explosive plays, AR is consistently looking down the field. Right, he consistently wants to get the shots down the field. So, with that, we end up again, even when we're scoring, taking not so much time off the clock. Defense still on the field too much because of it, right? And those are things that over time AR will be able to figure out, and he'll be able to manage the game, right? Those people call certain quarterbacks game managers. Like, that's a good thing. I want the AR to become a game manager at some point, right? Just like play callers, like they say there's a difference between calling plays and calling a game. Like that's real, right? And it's the same thing when you're talking about the players and being able to come out. Downgraded, doubtful, yeah. Sorry, getting distracted by chat, but no. Nonetheless, look, I feel again pretty confident with Joe Flacco coming into this. Again, limited experience, but getting the reps with the starters, of course, this week is going to be a big deal. When I heard that he was getting most, if not all, of the reps with the starters, I felt pretty good about it. Got some game action with him. Got to practice with him this week, so it's about as confident as I felt going into Jacksonville, since pretty much Uncle Phil was here. And that's the thing. Uncle Phil, right? Phillip Rivers, that year, the Jaguars won one game. And it was the first game of the season when they beat us in Jacksonville. We went to the playoffs that year. We almost beat the Bills in the playoffs in Buffalo that year. And still, Jaguars beat us in Jacksonville. So, of course, it's the NFL. Anything's possible. Their injuries got a little better, right, when you look overall at the injuries here. And just go over this quickly. They have a lot of guys questionable. Yazir Abdullah, linebacker, questionable. Evan Ingram, questionable with a hamstring. Darnell Savage, Devin Lloyd, Daniel Thomas, all questionable with their own injuries, all limited participants, most, if not all, week. And then you have Josh Hines-Allen, who was on the injury report with a concussion. And he ended up getting cleared very shortly, probably maybe 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. The notification came on my phone that Josh Hines-Allen is, in fact, ready to go, which is a big deal, right? When you think about it, you look at the Colts and why that's going to be a big deal. Josh Allen last year had 2 sacks on Anthony Richardson. Could have had more if Anthony Richardson couldn't run away from him, right? And then, again, it's Joe Flacco. So this year, obviously, Bernie coming in, another year of experience. Braden Smith, hopefully going to play. Braden Smith did not practice, was a full participant on Thursday, did not practice Wednesday or Friday. He's questionable going into the game. Excuse me. And so hopefully Braden's able to play. That would be a big deal for us to have him in the game. He's been incredible this week. Did a really good job against TJ Watt. So hopefully we're able to see Braden Smith play this upcoming week. Now, of course, with Anthony Richardson, other guys that were ruled out for this week, Jonathan Taylor. Okay, Anthony Richardson's doubtful, but not going to play, right? Jonathan Taylor also out, kind of expected high ankle sprain. Hopefully able to come back next week. It didn't sound crazy for Jonathan Taylor as far as high ankle sprains go, so feel pretty good about it. Hopefully him and AR can both come back next week, but we'll see what happens. And then we have Kwity Paye and Kenny Moore also ruled out. So, and I also saw that, the update with Anthony Richardson came out that he was doubtful. Part of that was that Samuel Womack and somebody else was ended up being questionable in this game. So here we go. Getting on the Colts page here. All right, here it is. Samuel Womack has an illness, and he showed up and he was really good, right? Free or practice squad guy, came in from San Francisco, and they have some good corners over there. Obviously, a really good team built by John Lynch and all them over there. So Samuel Womack gets picked, and we need him, and he played really well last week. He's there, again, with an illness. Those could go anywhere. He can wake up tomorrow feeling okay and feel like he can go, or he can wake up tomorrow and it could be a little worse. So hopefully he's able to play. Ryan Kelly, also doubtful for this game. So another game of Tanner Bortolini, which you're not going to have much harder matchups than Cam Hayward, right? The Steelers' defensive line for your first NFL game, like not that any matchup in the NFL is going to be easy, especially the offensive line. They're just banging around all day. But nonetheless, feel pretty good about Tanner Bortolini. Thought he did well last week. Should do a pretty good job this week. So that's it. Zaire Franklin was sick, but only missed one practice. Who else we got here? Grover Stewart got a rest day on Friday. Grant Stewart practiced fully Thursday and Friday. And yeah, that covers it. The other one was Ryan Kelly, and he's now doubtful after not practicing. So that's the injury outlook for us this week. And I want to find this tweet here. It was something that I bookmarked very recently. So it should be up here at the top. Yeah, it's actually the very top one. Okay. So this is the list of the Colts players that we don't have. Okay, this is including guys that were hurt before this week. Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor, Ryan Kelly, DeForest Buckner, Jelani Woods, Kwity Paye, Samson Ebicom, Tyquan Lewis, Kenny Moore, Juju Brents, potentially Braden Smith, and potentially Sam Womack. So, I mean, the injuries, when we started week one, we were one of the least injured teams, right? We had Daniel Scott, we had Jelani Woods. You know, we really didn't have many injuries coming in. Josh Downs had to miss the first game or two, but nonetheless, we were very healthy overall. Here we are going into week 5, one of the more injured teams in the league, especially when you talk about starters. Like, there are teams that get abused at one position. We're kind of getting abused at corner with injuries, but overall, we're basically rolling out the second team offense, second team defense. But the good news, again, Tanner Bortolini played well. Hopefully Braden Smith can play, but that offensive line has been so good. When you can win in the trenches, it can do so much for you. So offensively, defensively, I feel like we can still win in the trenches. I felt like last week the depth on that defensive line starting to show up is what I really felt like last week with all the injuries. Guys that you need to have step up, guys that are going to have more reps throughout a game, and more reps in a game might even be better for a guy to get in a rhythm rather than play down, come out, play another down, come out for a series. Like, however Gus likes to do it, I am in the school of thought. Your best players play. There's some of these guys, sometimes they need to find their rhythm in a game. That happens with a lot of people. Doesn't matter what sport you're in. They got to have the in-game reps. They got to find themselves in a rhythm against their matchup and try to make it work. And I think with the injuries, we really saw that show up last week, against the Steelers. And we saw Dio have a massive game, right? Sack and a half. We saw, even though I believe it was our lowest blitz percentage, we saw the blitzes we were calling at good times, and they were working. Womack gets home for a sack, fumble, recovery, right? Like, overall, I think the defense really has stepped up over these last couple weeks. And then when you think about the injuries that we have, the key injuries that we have, and how young some of this defense still is, been just really impressed over the last 2 weeks. Obviously, 1 week you have the Bears, who have struggled against everybody offensively so far this season. But then you have the Steelers, who, kicked a lot of field goals over those first few, but They are one of the higher scoring offenses in the league. And the week before looked like, hey, they figured it out. They figured it out on offense. Justin Fields playing well. And we were able to – we obviously didn't shut them down. They, started making a little bit of a comeback. Justin Fields has like 312 yards, ran for a couple touchdowns. It wasn't shut them down. But the defense definitely been playing better, which I like. Let's go here through chat. Andrew, what's going on? Derby, appreciate you stopping by. Garrett, in here, appreciate you all stopping by, hanging out here on this Saturday. I know a lot of people, probably IU fans. I'm not, but I know a lot of people from Indy that are Colts fans or also IU fans. Shout out. Not sure if they've played today. I assume they have. But I know they were 5-0 coming into this week. So shout out. Here they're playing well. Drunk Master, Colts house is still here. Not entirely sure what you mean by that. Colts house is still here. Oh, yeah. Let me go search this score real quick. That's interesting. All this hype about IU, they're going to let Northwestern get them? IU versus Northwestern. There we go. All right, let's see. Oh, I got you. So what? Hold on. Are you saying you're Colts house on Twitter? Is that what you're telling me? I don't know if you're on Twitter. I assume that's what you're talking about. Now, why is ESPN acting weird, man? All right, so let's put that aside for a moment. Oh, there you go. IU up by 7. I got you. Okay, cool. Hell yeah. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Didn't know that anybody from Twitter actually came over here. Hell yeah. Appreciate you stopping by, brother. Let's see. Flacco snaps the streak and the QE. Yeah, Andrew, exactly. Yeah, that's going to be the conversation. And don't get me wrong. You guys know I do the Overreaction Monday. Like, we're going to talk about it. And if we snap the curse, I will be ridiculous. Just know. Okay, that video, a lot of those Overreaction Monday videos are just like, more for entertainment. There's a little bit of seriousness, obviously, especially when we lose. And it doesn't feel good talking some trash. But nonetheless, that conversation is definitely going to come up. And I hope it does. At the end of the day, I hope it does. If that conversation comes up, it means we've won the game. And we can talk about it. Now, if we go into Jacksonville and we lose, people are still going to talk about it, but not as much, right? It's going to be the same discourse as it was this past week, but maybe a little less if Joe Flacco loses to Jacksonville, a team that's 0-4, right? That'll be the takeaway. Joe Flacco loses to a team that's 0-4 after beating the Steelers, and Anthony Richardson really got us in scoring position against the Steelers and carried it there in the first quarter, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we're able to come away with the dub, though. Man, again, being 3-2 as opposed to 2-3, and looking at those last 12 games is it's a big difference, right? And how we feel going forward, right? One way you need 7 wins, one way you need 8 wins, right? You get a win in week 5, it just gets easier the whole way. It's common knowledge, but just looking at it, that's what we need. We need a win in Jacksonville to really help propel us through this season. AR is injury prone. There's no denying at this point. It is what it is. Yeah, it's tough, right? And part of it is like unlucky, right? You think about last year, could have finished the Jags game to start the year last year. Coach pulled him out, which started this whole narrative. If you would have just kept him in, like, guys bang up their knees a lot in the NFL and walk it off. Just let them finish that game. Probably should have had that happen. Concussion against the Texans, that's unlucky. His fault, and he's taking accountability for that. But, concussions are concussions. That kind of stuff happens. And then obviously the shoulder injury, right? They're really no getting around that. With the shoulder injury, gets tackled on it. But the hip injury is injury, and it started as a hip. Now it's an oblique and abdominal injury. So, what is it really? And what's he really feeling when he's trying to move around and when he's trying to throw? That's kind of what I'm curious about. Is kind of exactly what it is and exactly what he's feeling. But I think there's recognition. There was something he said a couple weeks ago where like there was recognition that he needed to be tougher. And that like he had to be able to take the hits. And I feel like I've seen that this year. There have been a couple times where he got up wincing and then carried on, right? Like, hey, we gotta move on. He's been better with that. But the hip injury, he could have come back in the game. If he could have come back in the game, then he should have let him if he wanted to, right? But like at that point, how limited is he, right? If he's not able to run and he can only throw from the pocket, is it detrimental, right? Those kinds of things. But there's really, at this point, it's like you need to see him not get hurt for like 10 games and be like, okay, sometimes he's just unlucky, but seems like we could be okay here. So that's really what I'm looking for. Hearing this oblique injury could be a 4-week recovery. If this oblique injury is a 4-week recovery, that's crazy. With all signs pointing to him potentially playing this week, he ends up obviously not. But then coming out of it, if it ends up being 4 weeks, that's kind of crazy. And then confirmation here by Derby. Don't like that. But again, the good news, right? We want to see AR in the field. If he's missing more time, the narrative's going to build. This guy can't stay healthy. Then next year we're going to need another capable backup because Joe Flacco comes in, starts winning games. Like, we'll probably go back to AR no matter what. But then you end up in a situation, Joe Flacco, with what he did with the Browns last year, if he comes here, wins with us, helps us win some games, and help us potentially, end up in the playoffs eventually, Joe Flacco probably going to get a starting gig if he wants to continue playing next year. So, and the team, the Raiders got to be sick that they went and signed Minshew instead of Flacco, right? And then, hey, maybe next year, Minshew, even though it wouldn't be my first pick probably, maybe Minshew ends up in a place where, he got another starting gig. It didn't go well. He's got to go somewhere where he's going to be a backup. Hey, go somewhere where you're familiar with an offense. Was there Philadelphia, there in Indianapolis, behind a quarterback that seemingly continues to get injured, and potential play, right? So, but going forward, because of these injuries, and if he continues to be held out, then you got to start thinking in the future. As you're building the team, you got to spend more money at the quarterback position than you want to. Than you want to right now, because your guy can't stay healthy. So, just hope that changes at some point. Kind of where you are. Yeah. I mean, Andrew, I'm rocking with AR. I've in this instance, this is one of those willing to be patient moments because of what we went through for 5 years. After Andrew Luck retired, like, I'm willing to be patient, but certainly getting worried and certainly getting to a point where like, come on, man. Like, at some point, you just got to show up and figure it out. Like, I know the shoulder injury is one thing and how messed up the AC joint was. That's one thing. But just some of the stuff we saw last year, what we're seeing right now, like, come on, man. Richardson cannot. He's soft, unfortunately. I'm here to tell you. I've seen QBs. Yeah, Derby, that's really where I'm at, right? I look at a guy like Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert plays through so much. And that's where I want AR to get. And some of it is like when I've talked so much about AR how young he is, and anybody that's been a young man, right? There's a maturity that happens in your early to mid 20s where you just figure it, and maybe some people figure it out sooner, but I know for me, like, just in different parts of my life, just figuring out different ways, right? Pushing through, finding, what I'm really made of, I guess is where I'm getting at. And I feel like that's a lot of the maturation for a lot of young men. And AR, again, is only 22 years old, recently turned 22 years old. So for AR, I want to give him the time, right? To physically develop, to mentally develop, because part of it is mind over matter. Right, it is a thing. That stuff is real. Part of it is just making, like, you can push that stuff aside when there's a goal at hand. When you really want it, you can push through it. So that's where I hope AR develops. As part of the development of the young quarterback, is hoping that toughness can develop. And look, as people are going to continue talking about it, this guy's injury prone. And he's either going to continue to get the injuries that hold him out for a period of time, or he's going to get to a point where he has to prove people wrong, and he has to stop the narrative because it's driving him so crazy, right? We're only human, and eventually he's going to want to do something about it. So that's what I'm hoping for. Just continue to develop. Hopefully we see something different in the future. Let's see. Paul, yeah, man, like coming down here to Florida. I know when I first moved down here to Florida, this is not football, but when I first moved down here to Florida, I had been told, like, there was the first hurricane that came around, I think, was Hurricane Irma was the first one when I moved down here. And I was told by so many people, like, oh, it's like once every 15 years or so, or 18 years, something like that, 15 to 18, whatever it was, that a hurricane comes and hits this particular area, right? They'll come in the Gulf, but, the particular area I'm in, right? And man, since I got down here, it's just been, I mean, boom, 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 right? Irma comes, massive impact. There was another one in between, and then Ian came. And Ian did so much damage to this area, like, so much. Well, the way that whole thing worked out, and different front, and it stopped right over top. Like, Hurricane Ian was crazy. That was one of the scarier parts of my life. And then luckily this last one, skimmed by me, but obviously northern Florida got hit hard. North Carolina dealing with effects. What happened in North Carolina, what's happening in North Carolina is crazy. Seeing what's happening there is unreal to have happen, and just thinking of how fortunate I am to be so close to the water, have so many hurricanes coming, and to still be chilling. You know what I mean? Been very lucky over time. And from what I heard, like, there's one coming on the other coast, I think, that's going to be a tropical storm. And it could turn into like a category 1 or category 2. And that's on the other coast. So it should, for the most part, be chilling. Just going to be rainy and windy where I am for the most part. Hopefully we'll be able to stream. I don't think it's going to be crazy. But tomorrow, hoping it's not messing with our stream during the game. But then, yeah, I guess there's another one coming. I don't pay attention to the news, man. People tell me this stuff. I have no idea. My girlfriend told me that there was like a category 2 hurricane coming next week that's supposed to hit this side. I don't know much about it, but that's just what I was told. Let's see. Continue out here. IU up by 7. Colts house. Northwestern just scored a passing touchdown to pull within 7. Oh, okay. I'm near Disney, not liking the hurricane. Oh, okay. So you're on the other side. So, yeah, hopefully you guys are okay, man. Hopefully on that side. Again, what I heard was that it was tropical storm that to upgrade to a category 1 or 2. But of course, with hurricanes, even those low grade ones, the thing you really worry about is a storm surge. And even if it's not outrageously deadly storm surge, getting your house flooded out and ruining all your things, getting you displaced for a while so that everything can get replaced because of mold and all that kind of stuff. Like, not great, right? So hopefully wherever you are, hopefully you guys are going to be okay. AR just starts giving good vibes and gets hurt. Yeah, honestly, man, it seemed like that both years, right? Last year, his ascension was happening so quick. The things he needed to work on, it seemed like he was getting better at it so fast. And then he gets hurt, out for the season. Like, damn, man. Damn. Now we got to watch Gardner Minshew play. Right? Made you feel like Carson Wentz. And then this year, man, had some deficiencies, some good, some bad. And as soon as the start of that game, he looked so good throwing the ball. Obviously, the one miss to Pitt, which was an error, right? One of those things. He just has to continue to tell himself and be self-aware. Hey, this is what I need to do. Mechanics have to be right on this throw. And that he's going to develop that, right? And the part of that is he's so good at reading defenses that he'll read it, try to get the throw there real quick, and he'll miss the throw. Now it's going to be, he's got to adjust to reading the defense while telling himself to set his feet the right way so he can throw the ball. So that adjustment has to come, and he has to develop that until it's a full-blown habit, right? Creating good habits is what we need. And then, it looks like he's doing that. And look, the 3 of those 4 good throws were really good. That first throw to Pitt was just on the money. Insane throw, honestly. And not many people on the planet can make that throw. What AR did right there, insane throw. And looked good at the beginning of the game, obviously rushing the ball and what he brings, and then he gets hurt. So, yeah, I feel you, man. Right there with you. I think he gets overconfident when he's do good as well, but he's young. Yeah, that's fair. Getting overconfident, getting excited, right? It goes into like putting it on his. I don't think he even means to like put the team on his back the way he tries to. He just gets caught up doing it, right? It's like he's young. He wants it all, whether it's the big pass or trying to run somebody over to make the, like, I don't know what he thinks he has to prove out there. Somebody needs to tell him, and almost exactly this, like, bro, you don't have to prove nothing. We've seen your alien ability. We know you have it. We know your work ethic. We know you're going to work on being great. So what we need you to do is to just make sure, and it's a skill to be available. You need to hone in on developing your skill to be available. We need you to put the team on your back by sliding, by taking less yards, by being more available to us. Right? Like, it's just got to happen. It's all good and well if you can run a guy over, but you can't. And I think he just learned a hard lesson. Okay? The injury that he had in the past was a guy running him down and landing on top of him. This one, he tried running over a safety. That's not even a linebacker. Okay? It's not a defensive end, a defensive tack. He tried running over a safety. Somebody that at his size, he probably thinks, hey, I'm running right over this dude real quick. Going to look like Derrick Henry. I'm going to the ground, but I'm getting 3 extra yards on top of it. Minka came in with the boom, bro. That's the NFL. That's big boy football. Minka Fitzpatrick don't play. Okay, Minka Fitzpatrick, just like every other safety, every other football. If you play defense, I played linebacker. If you play defense, you see that quarterback cross the line of scrimmage. The moment he crosses the line of scrimmage and you know he can't throw that ball, target is on his back. It's time to hit this guy as hard as we can to affect this game. If it takes him out you don't obviously want to seriously injure anybody at any point. But if I crack this dude's ribs, he has to be out for the rest of the series or he can't play the rest of the game. Sorry about it. That's football. That's football. At the end of the day, that's football, and people are going to get hurt. It's a 100%. It doesn't matter. Everybody's going to get hurt. But you need your guy to be able to stay in, and somebody just got to continue to put the messages in there. Bro, we know you're a badass. You don't need to be. We need you to be able to throw the ball 65 yards down the field because no one else can do it. And we need you to be able to throw the ball accurately because you can gun it in like nobody else on the planet. The ball can get to his spot so fast. Just need you to be accurate. We need you to be on the field. Let's see. Oh, hey, man. I didn't know that. Yeah, Colts House Dunk Master, bro. I didn't know that. Appreciate you stopping by. Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. So what? You're the one that I messaged on Twitter, right? Or was that Colts Topic? I don't know. One of those Colts accounts I said something to earlier. And I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm about to go find that real quick. Give me just a second. See, go to my replies here. That was Colts Topic. All right, never mind. But I actually think you replied to the same thing. Oh, no, that's at Colts Report. So many different Colts accounts on here. Hard to keep them all straight. But nonetheless, yeah, appreciate you stopping by, man. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Where was I at here? Trying to find my plays. Here we go. Ken Sterling. Baby, if IU loses. That's a fact. Division game most critical, without a doubt. Of all the games we played, division games, the most important. You got 6 of them. They take up more than a third of the schedule. Huge matchups, especially this one in Jacksonville. I feel like even before, like, we might have won in Jacksonville for a couple of times, but, like, you think about the Manning era and the Maurice Jones-Drew Jaguars. I don't think we used to win in Jacksonville back in the day either, bro. I just think there's something different down in Jacksonville. And listen, I know sometimes, like, fans of the enemy team come in and watch. I don't mean any offense. These are just things I've heard. My girls lived in Jacksonville for a couple of years. Not from Jacksonville. Lived in Jacksonville for a couple of years. I've heard that people in Jacksonville are a little different. Things in Jacksonville are a little different. All right, you got things in Jacksonville are a little different. Not great, right? The people in Jacksonville, not great. I don't even remember where I was going with that. Sitting here trying to think of what I should say to not get myself canceled by talking about people from Jacksonville. Just know, not great. Oh, that's right, because they're so rowdy. Yeah, the type of people in Jacksonville. It's a distracting environment. I guess that's the way to say it. It's a distracting environment. AR5 should be Learning from Joe Flacco to be a pocket passer. Yeah, and I think that's the important thing. Like, Gardner Minshew was so erratic in the pocket, and his pocket presence was so bad. So AR, what are you really picking up from Gardner? So with Joe Flacco, he's a veteran. He's a guy who has good pocket presence, good at stepping up in the pocket, good at moving around in the pocket, and just finding ways to move behind the line of scrimmage, and to be able to get the ball accurately. And he's going to see Joe Flacco. Hey, Joe Flacco likes to rip it deep too, man. So when he sees Joe Flacco, checking down or hitting the guy at 8 yards, hitting the guy at 12 yards, you don't always need to hit the guy at 20, 25 or 40, 45. Right? Those are the things AR needs to pick up on, which is, again, going into you don't need it all at once, brother. You don't need it all at once. You can matriculate your way down the field. Sometimes it's okay to just manage a game by just moving down the field. Run the ball. Take what the defense gives you. If they give you the opportunity for the shot, take it. Now, in this scheme, we get a lot of those opportunities. Shane Steichen, very good offensive coordinator. We do really well. His offense does really well. So the opportunities are there a lot. And a lot of times defenses will give AR the read for that. But sometimes you just need to take what the defense gives you. Second and manageable, third and short, whatever it is. Sometimes you just need to make the game easier for you, Northwestern is not good, but give them all they can handle. Yeah, well, you know what, Derby, I bet IU, this is one of those games. Because, again, human nature, right? Team like IU starting 5-0, they haven't done this since 1885 and whatever, however long it's been. And I think it was actually the 1800s. And I bet they just got too confident, right? Getting too big for the britches, right? It's cliche, but that's real. Getting overconfident, overlooking an opponent, thinking your shit don't stink, coming in, getting smacked in the mouth. Just getting smacked in the mouth. You know what I mean? So, sounds like that's probably what happened to IU in this one. Flacco might get destroyed by Johnson tomorrow. That's the only thing that worries me. Yeah, that's really all that worries me, Josh Allen, very good. Kind of hilarious that he decided to change his name. I know it's like his mom's maiden name or something. But just the fact that he was like, you know what? There's this other Josh Allen. I need to change my name. That just feels like that's probably what that was. But, what are the chances? His whole life, he's the man. Josh Allen's the man. Josh Allen's the man. And then he gets to the NFL. His lifelong dream gets to the NFL, becomes a superstar in the NFL, gets overshadowed because the other Josh Allen. What are the chances? Yeah, Flacco was very cheap, Paul. Very cheap. For somebody they could have had as a starter, they could have paid him Gardner money, and he probably would have went. And Gardner's obviously making more than Flacco. That's why I say that. Even if Flacco was going somewhere guaranteed to be a starter, probably would have been right in the Gardner range. So, just glad we ended up with Flacco. If AR ends up being out for a period of time, dude, our schedule. Let me just pull up our schedule. Our schedule gets so difficult. Now, schedule was supposed to start to get difficult when we had the Dolphins. Dolphins, one of the worst teams. Dolphins, I believe, have a win. Have not led for a single second. I heard that on the Pat McAfee show. You guys probably did too. If you listen to me, there's a good chance you listen to Pat. And, Dolphins have not led for a single second this year, and I'm pretty sure they have a win. Pretty crazy stat. And the Jaguars are 0-4, right? But the Dolphins are the only team that hasn't had a lead in any game this year. So coming up, right? We have the Jaguars and Titans in Tennessee. Dolphins travel to Indy. We should be okay. These next two games after the Jags, we have a big opportunity, right? Before our schedule gets outrageously difficult, if we can win in Jacksonville, huge, 3-2. Titans don't look like a very good football team right now. They might be a little better with Mason Rudolph, but it sounds like Will Levis is going to play as long as he's available. Whatever the case may be, I think we can beat the Titans, and that one going to be in Tennessee. But then we beat them, boom, all of a sudden from 0-2 to 4-2. And then you're able to beat the Dolphins if we can get that done. 5-2. 5-2 after starting 0-2. If we can go on a 5-game win streak, I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care who we're playing. I don't care who the opponents are playing. If we can find a way to go 5-2 after these first 7 games, you think about the schedule after that. Starting October 27th, we get the Texans in Houston. Then you get the Vikings, who look like they might be the best team in the NFL. The Vikings are so good right now. They're playing so offensively, defensively, and that's the key game. That game, that is going to be AR's worst game as a pro. And if AR cooks Brian Flores' defense, Houston, we got our guy. Okay? That's going to be a tough game, right? So, again, Texans 1 week. Then the very next week, Vikings. Both of those on the road. 2 of the hardest places to play. Sorry, got distracted by the comments. But yeah, Houston and Minnesota, 2 of the hardest, rowdiest places to play. Then you have the Bills going to Indy. Usually we're going to Buffalo. This time it's in Indy, but Bills looking. I thought the Bills were going to take a step back, and I thought that would be an easier game for us. That looks extremely difficult. Then Sunday Night Football in MetLife Stadium against the Jets. And that, either way, but that defense has so many good players. Aaron Rodgers, even though I believe we're 1-3 against Aaron Rodgers in his career, it's Aaron Rodgers. Like, anything's possible there. The Lions are the Lions. They look so good. Kind of mad that I can't be at that game. November 24th. Yeah, when is Thanksgiving this year? Am I tripping? Oh, it's Thanksgiving. There's no way Thanksgiving is a week after, right? I was about to say, is that a Thanksgiving game? We don't play on Thanksgiving, though. 2024. Let's check this out. No, Lions play the Bills on Thanksgiving. Okay. So what's that? 3 games scheduled for. Oh, that's the 28th. Okay. Word. Okay. So yeah, we play the Lions just before Thanksgiving. And that one in Indy, another difficult game. So we have a really hard stretch coming. When you look at those games. So the next 3, we have a big opportunity. Then we have, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row. Very difficult. We're probably going to be the underdog in all those games, I would assume, unless, we're coming through winning a bunch of games, right? If we go 5-2 going to the Texans game, who knows? We'll have to see what happens there, whatever. Doesn't matter if we're the favorite or the underdog. Going forward, then you have the Patriots, the Broncos, 2 winnable games. We have the Broncos in the preseason, which is weird. I don't really like playing a team that you played in the preseason. See them in regular season, that's kind of weird. But whatever. This one going to be in Denver. But again, 2 winnable games right there. Titans winnable game, Giants winnable game, and then the last game, Jaguars in Indy. So before that Jaguars game, okay, if we go 3-0 in the next 3 games, right? Win in Jacksonville and then win our next 2 games. Go 5-2. And then we lose 5 in a row. And then we're 5-7. Okay, it'd be a crazy lose 2, win 5, lose 5. Crazy way to go 5-7, but I wouldn't put it past us. And then win 4 games. And then we end up, what would that be? 9-7 going into the final week. We end up 9-7 going into last week against the Jaguars, which is a situation we have been in so much. Think about what it's been like since Andrew Luck left. The times where we could have gotten to the playoffs and we didn't. We lose in the last week. Jacksonville with Carson Wentz as our quarterback. Last week or last year when we lose to the Texans in Indy and don't go to the playoffs. What better of a situation? Not that I want us to get into the playoffs comfortably, but what better of a situation where you go 9-7, find a way to be in contention for a playoff spot, have the Jaguars in Indy, okay, have another chance. You win, you're in Indy. And to be able to cap it off, AR, JT, get a lot of these guys back coming off their injuries, right? A lot of our key guys are injured right now, but don't forget, a lot of these guys are coming back. So while we're very injured right now, a lot of these guys coming back. If we can keep these guys healthy at the end of the season, 10-7 in a playoff spot. Okay, I don't mean to sound like Evan Foxy from the Pat McAfee show, but 10-7 in a playoff spot. All right, let's get it done. All right, if we go, I feel like the Jets is one we could possibly steal. And, honestly, I don't know. I just feel like the Texans are gettable. I know how week 1 went, but I feel like the Texans are more gettable than people think. Now, of course, we're going to have to stop Nico Collins. Can't continue to let Nico Collins go nuts the way T.Y. Hilton used to go nuts on the Texans. We just can't let that continue to happen. But going forward, I feel good about us. I don't remember how I got onto the subject of the rest of our schedule. But here we are. Let's see. Ian was bad. Yeah, Hurricane Ian. Yeah, Hurricane Ian was rough, bro. I'm not going to lie. That was tough. Not trying to beat a dead horse, but Manning holds the interception record. Rich. Yeah, 1,000%, right? That's what we keep pointing back to is the interception record. Hey, KT dropping in the chat. What's up, man? Reggie, see you in here. Mark, I see you in here. I don't think I addressed you guys yet. Appreciate you all stopping by. Oh, hold on. I'm messing up here. How do I click off? There we go. All right. I've never believed in offensive line more than this year. Yeah, exactly, man. Winning up front. Feel so good about the offensive line this year. Just like 2021 when JT was going crazy. Feel really, really good about the offensive line this year. (24-13) Colts, regardless of who starts at quarterback tomorrow. Yeah, something's got to give. Right? We've been able to beat the Steelers twice in a row. We got over that. We haven't been able to win in week 1, but we've been coming real close. Okay, we're getting closer. I guess we haven't really gotten close to winning at Jacksonville. So, I don't know. But, hey, maybe Flacco's the difference, right? Flacco, Josh Downs, A.D. Mitchell, Alec Pierce. Tomorrow feels like a game where we could see both teams throw the ball 40-plus times. Yeah, exactly. The designed runs for AR, yeah. I was glad that they were doing some of that. Again, it's going to be dangerous. You need him to take care of himself. the designed runs are a great idea. You just need AR to take care. Even if you have to go down for 2 yards, man, like live to fight another down. Eric, what's going on, man? Appreciate you stopping by again. Appreciate you. And don't forget everybody that's chilling in here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me, by the way. We've been sitting at, 20, 25 people hanging out in here. I appreciate you guys coming to hang out. Taking some time here on this Saturday evening to come hang out. We'll be live tomorrow for the game. My stream, the stream that I watch, because I'm not local to Indy, the stream that I watch is delayed stream. Plus, the stream itself is delayed, like 15 seconds or something like that. So, the delay while you're watching me, like I'm going to be a few plays behind. And game time is going to be like a minute and a half game time where I'm behind. But I will be live. I do like to have people in here, hang out. I do play-by-play, right? Can't do the audio because YouTube doesn't like that, and they'll try to hide everything, hide the stream from everybody. But I will do, play-by-play, and we'll hang out, bullshit. Hopefully, it's an exciting day. Obviously, helmet gonna come on at some point. So yeah, hope you guys stop by. Hopefully we can come out of tomorrow, 3-2, no injuries during the game. That would be ideal. Sorry. Yeah, Paul, having stuff thrown at you. Yeah, that's what I've heard from other people. Yeah, Jacksonville, there's some ratchet individuals that go to Jacksonville Jaguars games. That's what I've heard. Okay, individuals that you don't want at the barbecue, people you don't want around your family. It's like, at some point, I'd like to go to every stadium. When I go to Jacksonville, I will be in a suite. Okay, better believe I will be in a suite. Not going around those kinds of people. Because those are the types of people that throw stuff at you at a football game. Which, by the way, bro, I was at the Steelers game. Right? I met a guy at the Steelers game. Hopefully he's on here. Or hopefully he's watching this later. What's going on, brother? Andy, I believe was his name. What's going on? He was just a couple rows in front of me. Notice I wore the hat just in case, because I feel like I'm one of the only, notable people out there with this hat. So I figured I'd wear it. Maybe somebody could recognize me, and it worked. So shout out, Andy. Appreciate you saying something at the game. And but there was this chick, and Andy could tell you, there was this chick, dude, like right behind me. Steelers fans, right? The Steelers fans are everywhere. They travel well. And there were just a couple rows up behind me. There were some Steelers fans that came in, and they were, making noise coming in, waving their towels and talking trash. It's a football game, man. It's Colts versus Steelers. Like that's what you expect. You're going to talk trash. But I don't know what happened. It was very early in the game. Very early in the game. Colts hadn't even scored their first touchdown. Security had come up already to talk to these people about, there was a Colts fan and then the Steelers chick and these two going at it apparently, and they were having a disagreement. So security came up to talk to him. Colts scored their first touchdown. Boom. Okay. Before the Colts scored their second touchdown, sheriffs are coming in. Okay. The real cops. This isn't event security. The real cops come in. And I still have no idea what happened. But this dude came and was sitting in the aisle, trying to get away from this chick. Right? Colts fans sitting in the aisle. Now I don't know who that guy was. But, hey, you can't back down, okay? Now, apparently the issue was, this chick, again, she came up talking trash. You're going to have that at a football game. Hello. It happens. this dude apparently didn't like it. And, he was saying stuff back. But, okay, I'm just going to say it. This Colts fan, mega soft. Everything I gathered from this, I tried not to pay attention because I'm there for a football game. And while this is going on, defense and offense are playing. So I'm paying attention to the game. But while I'm paying attention and looking, I'm listening. Because I just, I want to get the tea. What's going on over here? So as I'm listening, right? Oh, she was saying this. He was saying this, right? Just being too soft to, we can't talk trash. And again, I didn't hear everything that the chick said. I think I'm on her side, though. I think homie was just being soft. But you had security coming and pull them out. The real cops come. They end up, I thought they defused the situation. They leave. They come back 2 minutes later. Or no. The Colts fan, he went and got the cops. He sat down for a minute on the steps, basically right next to me, and then went and got the cops, came back up. Cops took the Steelers fans and took them somewhere. I don't know if they kicked them out or what, which would be kind of messed up. But took the Steelers fans somewhere, and then the dude and whoever he was with, I'm pretty sure upgraded them. He said he upgraded somebody. I'm pretty sure he upgraded the other Colts fans, which would make sense as Colts. But hey, listen, man. If you go, come here, real intimate. If you go to a football game or a sporting event, there are competitive juices flying everywhere. People are going to talk trash. You need to know that. Don't be so soft that at the beginning of a game, you're going to get mad at another fan for talking trash. That's what happens. That's part of the experience. If you don't want to be a part of the football experience, you probably shouldn't go to the game. Now, this leads me to my next point. There's another type of person that shouldn't go to football games. And I'm sorry to be a hater, okay? And some of you might be like this. I'm sorry. I lost my voice. Most of you watch my content daily, and I love you. Shout out. Earlier this week, I couldn't even talk. I couldn't make videos one day this week because my voice, I was trying to talk, and I would be talking like this. No sound was coming out as I was trying to talk. I couldn't talk. Not only are you going to talk trash at football games, there were Steelers fans literally just in the same row and out in front of me. And we were all friendly banter through the game. The people sitting directly in front of me, this is worst case scenario because me and my dad are very loud at these games. These people had to have hated me. Never turned around one time. Mad respect. Didn't turn around a single time. But I need you to hear me. Okay, again, come here. I need you to hear me. If you go to a football game and everybody in the stands, no matter which team you root for, if everybody in the stands is going nuts, then at some point, at the very least, stand your ass up and clap your hands. Do something. Do something. Homeboy took his girl on a date. I get it. You're just going on a date. Brother, you could have taken her anywhere. Okay? Indianapolis, everybody was at the stadium. You could have gone anywhere. No reservations. You could have gotten a spot. Done whatever you... With what you paid in ticket prices, you probably could have went to St. Elmo's, had a real nice time with your girl, and then went back to the crib, had a real nice time there. You feel me? If you go to a game, especially if you're a Colts fan, you're going to a Colts game, please, when the offense is on the field, shut up. And when the defense is on the field, don't stop saying anything, whether it's just screaming, whether, for me, I sit there and I'm like, defense, I just kind of keep doing that. Then you have people that are just, right, or whatever noise you're making. Do it when the defense is out there. Shut up when the offense is out there. Okay? Just like when Peyton Manning was here, offense is going to work, brother. Okay, this concludes this TED Talk. Okay? Don't be soft when you go to a football game, and don't leave the game without losing your voice. We are the 12th man. Colts Nation, we are the 12th man. We are what affects the game. We are what makes things harder for the opponent, what makes things better for the defense. We got to do our part. Whew. I didn't expect to talk about that. I don't even know how that came up, but I'm real glad it did. Let's see, where did I leave off here? Pants are a bit rough. I wore a Manning jersey. Oh, getting stuff thrown at you with a Manning jersey too, that's tough. Tough. I'd be so mad. Oblique pull. It's not an oblique pull, it's a contusion. Shorter recovery. Yeah, Reggie, that's what I'm hoping for, right? Shorter recovery for the oblique. It's really what I'm hoping for. It was only popcorn in a paper cup. Oh, okay. Well, it's okay. That's not so bad. A little butter on the jersey never killed nobody. Capable of beating good teams and losing bad teams. Don't count your eggs. Yeah, 100%. Right. And I think that's something Joe Flacco said this week was... Or no, it was Shane. Something Shane said in his press conference yesterday was that, it's the NFL. Doesn't matter what your record is, and it's super cliche to say, like, just throw out records, but it's real, right? And he had the example, right? A team that was 0-10, he was on a team that went to play a team that was 0-10, and they lost the game, right? Should have easily won the game and lost the game. Like, anything can happen. Which is why Jacksonville goes 1-16 in the season, or I think at that point maybe it was 1-15. I can't remember in 2020 if it had changed yet. But nonetheless, we were the only team they beat, and it was in Jacksonville, right? So good teams, bad teams, doesn't matter. Everybody's in the NFL for a reason. Again, it's cliche, but cliches are cliche for a reason, right? They became that way because there's a lot of truth to it. Again, KT, I'm pretty sure I said what's up. Just want to make sure I say what's up to you, man. I know you stop by all the time, especially in these live streams. Stop by all the time. Appreciate you stopping by. Same with you, Eric. Appreciate you hanging out. Tell me something good, brother. We all woke up today, brother. From a Colts standpoint, we're going into Jacksonville with basically our second team on offense and defense. So, can't really, I'm really nervous right now. I'm not going to lie. So, tell you something good. We woke up today, brother. We woke up. I hope a lot of you had a day off. I had to go to work this morning. Worked 11 hours last night. Had to turn around, wake up, go back in this morning. But, hey, off tonight. Get to have the day off tomorrow. Watch Colts football. Football all day tomorrow. Hopefully we have some good games. Started off good with the Buccaneers. I believe Monday Night Football was really good as well. There was a doubleheader. The Dolphins game was trash. But obviously you had the Washington. Was that Washington? I think it was Washington, right? The other Monday night game? Whatever the other Monday night game. Oh, no, that was Seattle-Detroit. Great game. And then you have Tampa-Falcons. Great game. So that's all I'm hoping for. This week is that we just get a bunch of fire games. Last week, not great games throughout the NFL. Or what? No, not the week before. Not great games. I didn't watch the rest of the NFL games last week. after going to the Colts game. Um, although I did watch the Ravens put a beat down on the Bills. Ravens looking exactly how I thought they'd look with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And thankful we don't play him. Thankful we don't play him, because boy, that would be rough. Curse gets broken tomorrow. That's right. Just like Walter White said, right? Heisenberg. Okay? You're goddamn right. I always feel safe at Lucas Oil. Great fans and security. Yeah, Lucas Oil, like, going to a game at Lucas Oil is a comfortability there. Like, I've never had a confrontation with somebody at Lucas Oil. Right? Had situations that could have been confrontational and just never really ends up that way. Part of it, I guess, is probably the people that live in Indy, right? But part of it is also just the environment. You know, the way it's built, the way it looks inside, the camaraderie, and again, the understanding of what it is. It's a football game. When the pads start hitting, even as fans, like, we have an emotional investment. When you especially spend money to go watch a team, there's an emotional investment, financial investment into watching this team and spending your time on this team. Juice is going to get flowing, baby. Juice is going to get flowing. But it's never anything crazy. You just have to have awareness for the situation, you know. And places like Las Vegas, right? You see Raiders fans a lot. Seems like 49ers fans also a lot. Not thinking the same way, which is kind of crazy. Because when I went to the West Coast, I did took a vacation a few years ago. Went to California for a couple days and Vegas for a couple days, and I mean, I thought the vibes on the West Coast were outstanding. I loved it over there. Living over there, like California, the cost of living, ridiculous. Like, the cost of living everywhere in America is ridiculous, which I'm not going to get into. But cost of living in California is ridiculous, right? So I would never live over there. And that's not the only reason I would never live over there, but I would never live in California. Loved being over on the West Coast, so that's why I like a place like Arizona. I hope one day, me and my girl, hopefully, one day can afford to go live in a place like Arizona or New Mexico or something. I think the vibes over there were so good. Yeah, exactly. Laid back. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Very laid back, which is why it shocks me that I see so many videos at 49ers games of people fighting. It's like, what's going on? What's the issue with people in San Francisco, right? What's going on over there? But I really enjoy the West Coast. You ever get a chance to go out there? Take it, man. Like, I had an opportunity, got the offer, you know. Couldn't afford to go out there myself, but got the offer. Hey, you want to come out here? Come out here for a few days. We're going to be in Cali. Then we're going to go to Vegas. Spend a couple days here, a couple days there. I had a real good time, man. Vegas is really cool too, man. Really enjoy Vegas. I was on the Strip the whole time, which isn't, I feel like, the entire Vegas experience. I know somebody who lives in Vegas. One of my boys, Chesty. You're probably not watching, but that's my boy, you know. So, and he lives out in Vegas, and you know, he goes toward the Strip a lot, but not always around it, right? But really, the point being, really enjoyed it out on the West Coast. I like that we've kind of gotten into some other things other than football. Usually it's just Colts football the entire time. We've been here for an hour and 15 minutes already. It's almost dinner time, huh? 6:50. On that note, fellas, By the way, Marquise, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you all stopping by, man. Appreciate y'all hanging out. A lot of you been here this whole time. Just kind of been steady right around 20 people this whole time, just chilling, which is cool. I didn't schedule this at all, so it's not something people could have gotten notified about. I just kind of went live. But I appreciate you guys, man. It's been a busy week for me, and it's like that. Got a full-time job, got to be able to pay the bills, and, pretty sure we all live in America, so y'all get it, man. It's tough right now, so just working through it, but gonna continue to get as much content as I can out to you guys. Again, going live tomorrow for the game will be a bit of a delay. Usually about a minute and a half game time, depending on what's going on. But definitely will be behind. But nonetheless, if you want to come hang out, I do play-by-play. And we'll just be kicking it, bullshit, and hopefully watching the guys get a W. So appreciate you guys so much for stopping by tonight. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. And if not, just make sure to be in the comment section on any of the videos through the week, man. Just even if it's just saying what's up. Just go in the comment section. Let me see you there. I know there are a lot of regulars here, a lot of people that come by every day. But like seeing you guys in the comment section, and like seeing that you guys are still coming around. So again, appreciate you guys for hanging out. Please go enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and whether it's watching college football, hanging out with the family, hanging out with friends, whatever it may be safe out there. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other.